As 2025 drew to a close, simmering tensions in the Indo-Pacific finally erupted in the Luzon Strait, a region long considered a powder keg for maritime disputes. In a bold and highly publicized move, the Philippine Coast Guard intercepted and confronted the Chinese research vessel CRV Tansuo Air Hao, sparking a tense standoff that quickly drew international attention. The Chinese vessel was operating deep within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone, just 19 nautical miles off the coast of Cagayan, a critical maritime choke point that sits uncomfortably close to Taiwan and is vital for regional security. This was no simple navigational error, it was a calculated maneuver, a direct challenge that tested not only Philippine sovereignty, but also the resolve of its regional partners and the broader international community. The CRV Tansuo Air Hao, outfitted with advanced deep-sea exploration technology, was suspected of conducting unauthorized marine research, an act that violated both Philippine law and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. The timing of the incident, unfolding over the New Year's holiday, suggested a deliberate attempt to exploit a moment when Manila's attention might be diverted, catching officials off guard during a period of national celebration and reduced government activity. Unlike previous confrontations in the South China Sea, this latest incident brought the friction directly to the Luzon Strait, a vital artery for global trade and a strategic corridor for military and commercial vessels alike. The world took notice, with governments and analysts recognizing the event as part of a much larger struggle for influence, access, and the upholding of international maritime rules in the Indo-Pacific. The encounter underscored the growing importance of maritime domain awareness, as well as the critical role that new technologies, like surveillance drones and advanced radar, now play in monitoring and responding to such activities. This was not merely a bilateral dispute between Manila and Beijing, but a flashpoint in the ongoing contest for control, order, and influence across the entire Indo-Pacific region. As dawn broke over the rough waters off northern Luzon, it was clear that the Luzon Strait had become the latest and perhaps most consequential stage for this high-stakes geopolitical drama, with the world watching closely to see what would happen next. The Luzon Strait, off Cagayan, is a strategic maritime choke point linking the South China Sea to the Pacific, vital for global trade and military operations. Every year, thousands of commercial vessels and naval ships pass through these waters, making it one of the busiest and most important sea lanes in Asia. Its location not only connects major economies but also serves as a critical route for energy supplies and essential goods. Control here means power, monitoring submarine traffic, projecting force, and potentially blockading adversaries. Whoever dominates this strait can influence the movement of both commercial and military vessels, shaping the balance of power in the region. Cagayan hosts U.S. military facilities under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, making it a key node in regional security. These bases enable rapid deployment and joint exercises, strengthening the defense posture of both the Philippines and its allies. Its proximity to Taiwan turns it into a potential front line in any cross-strait conflict. The short distance means that any escalation could quickly draw in forces stationed in Cagayan, raising the stakes for regional stability. China's activities near Cagayan are seen as efforts to test defenses and gather intelligence in this critical buffer zone. These maneuvers are closely watched by both local and international observers. Unauthorized research could mask military data collection, mapping the seabed, studying currents, and identifying undersea features that could be used for submarine operations or surveillance, or scouting for sensor deployment. Such activities could give a foreign power a significant advantage in monitoring or controlling the strait. The incident signals China's intent to gain an operational edge in this vital corridor, challenging the status quo and prompting regional responses. For Manila and its allies, these waters are now a geopolitical chessboard where every move is carefully calculated and the stakes could not be higher. The CRV Tansuo Air Hao was first detected by Philippine aerial surveillance, its slow, lingering movement raising immediate suspicion. The Coast Guard quickly dispatched an aircraft, confirming the vessel's position deep within the Philippine EEZ. This rapid response showcased the value of air power in monitoring vast maritime zones. Crucially, Canada's satellite-based dark vessel detection system aided the operation, flagging the ship for suspicious activity. This technology, which identifies vessels operating covertly, exemplifies the growing international cooperation in Indo-Pacific security. For the Philippines, such partnerships are force multipliers, enabling effective monitoring of their waters. The successful detection highlighted how technology and alliances are leveling the playing field. Even covert vessels can no longer operate unnoticed. After confirming the vessel's identity, the Philippine Coast Guard issued direct radio challenges from their aircraft, their voices cutting through the static as they attempted to make contact. They demanded to know if the Chinese crew was conducting marine research, reminding them that such activity requires Philippine consent under international law, and emphasizing the need for transparency in these contested waters. These calls served to establish a legal record and put the onus on the vessel to explain its presence, creating a paper trail that could be used in future diplomatic or legal proceedings. The CRV Tan Suo Erhao responded with total radio silence, a tactic often used by Chinese vessels to deny jurisdiction, refusing to acknowledge the authority of the Philippine Coast Guard. This silence was a passive-aggressive rejection of Philippine authority, consistent with Beijing's broader stance in the South China Sea, where ambiguity and non-response are used as strategic tools. After repeated unanswered calls, the Chinese vessel altered course, moving east but remaining within Philippine waters, its intentions unclear and its mission unresolved. The Coast Guard tracked its movements closely, forcing the vessel to abandon its immediate activities, but unable to compel a direct response or explanation. The encounter ended in tense silence, with the vessel's intentions unresolved and the ocean returning to its uneasy calm. The incident left Manila with more questions than answers, fueling debates among officials and raising concerns about future encounters. It was a stark reminder of the challenges in enforcing maritime sovereignty and the ongoing struggle to assert national rights in contested waters. Manila and Beijing spun sharply different stories after the incident. The Philippines, through Defense Secretary Teodoro, framed it as part of China's broader campaign of coercion, appealing to international law and collective security. Officials highlighted the vessel's non-compliance and publicized the radio challenges to expose China's gray zone tactics. China, meanwhile, dismissed the concerns, claiming innocent passage and denying Philippine jurisdiction. Beijing's narrative ignored the vessel's suspicious behavior and rejected Manila's maritime laws. This clash of narratives is typical. China reframes illegal incursions as routine, muddying the waters and normalizing its presence. The diplomatic standoff leaves little room for resolution, fueling persistent mistrust. The Cagayan incident coincided with massive Chinese military drills, Justice Mission 2025, encircling Taiwan. These war games, triggered by a record U.S. arms sale to Taiwan, simulated a blockade and full-scale assault. The exercises extended into the Bashi Channel, perilously close to Philippine territory. Analysts believe the CRV Tan Suo Erhao was gathering oceanographic data to support these military operations. Its proximity to U.S.-accessible bases in Cagayan suggests it was also monitoring Allied responses. The vessel's mission was likely part of a broader Chinese strategy to prepare for conflict scenarios involving Taiwan. For the Philippines, the drills and the vessel's presence underscored the risks of spillover and miscalculation. The incident was not isolated, but a subtle move in a larger military operation. The region's security environment had become even more volatile. The December incident is part of China's expanding maritime campaign, now pushing north into the Luzon Strait. Previously, confrontations centered on the South China Sea, but recent months have seen Chinese Coast Guard vessels near Batanes, the Philippines' northernmost province. This northward shift normalizes Chinese presence in strategic waters, eroding Philippine control. It allows Beijing to gather intelligence and apply psychological pressure on Manila, a key U.S. ally. China's tactics include not just direct incursions, but also gray zone activities, using fishing fleets as militias and contesting undersea cable projects. Each incident, whether a research vessel or a diplomatic dispute, is part of a larger strategy to rewrite regional maritime rules. The pattern is clear. China is steadily asserting dominance and challenging the status quo. The stakes for the Philippines and its allies are rising. The Luzon Strait confrontation reflects the broader struggle for power in the Indo-Pacific. China's ambitions, asserting its 9-dash line and absorbing Taiwan, put it on a collision course with the US and regional allies. In response, countries are strengthening alliances and modernizing defenses, with the Philippines expanding US access under EDCA. Japan, Australia, Vietnam and Indonesia are all boosting their military capabilities to counter Chinese coercion. This arms buildup increases the risk of miscalculation, where a small incident could spark a larger crisis. The region's economic lifelines, vital sea lanes like the Luzon Strait, are at stake. China's actions threaten not just security but global trade and economic stability. The CRV Tansuo-Erhao incident is a warning. The Indo-Pacific's peace is fragile. The world watches, hoping diplomacy can prevail over confrontation. The New Year's Eve standoff was more than a maritime dispute. It exposed the fragility of Indo-Pacific peace. China's defiance, symbolized by radio silence, rejected the rules-based order and challenged Philippine sovereignty. The vessel's presence during major war games near a key U.S.-accessible base was a clear provocation. This, along with earlier Chinese incursions near Batanes, signals Beijing's expanding ambitions. Manila's transparent, law-based response stands in stark contrast to China's dismissive narrative. The diplomatic impasse deepens mistrust and raises the risk of conflict. For the Philippines and its allies, the incident is a call for vigilance and stronger deterrence. As 2026 begins, the Luzon Strait remains a flashpoint, reminding all that regional stability hangs in the balance.